All right, everybody, we're live. It's the Working Fans Podcast, daily content. And I'm going to just talk about last night's AEW Revolution. It was a great pay-per-view. But before we do that, let's take a look at this video. Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
All right, everybody, let's talk a little bit of AEW Revolution. Last night was a pretty good show. Damn good show. I got to the show. Let's see. I watched it a little bit later. I saw at last night. I came in at the very end of the pre-show, and it was a House of Black taking on Death Triangle, and this was a crazy 6-man match. Probably really kind of fell by the wayside and didn't get really noticed because how great the pay-per-view was. But man, Black, King, Matthews all look great. Pac, Penta looked great, and Eric Redbeard, he looked great too. He ended up taking the pinfall. I don't know if this guy's going to be around or if he just came in for this weekend. But, man, he looked great. Put in a hell of an effort. But Death Triangle gets the win. That group keeps growing. Super, super excited to see how they do. And they're doing such a great job, I think, with this House of Black. House of Black gets the win. I'm really excited to see what they do next and see what happens. We got Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. They kicked off the pay-per-view. Excellent match. I was so into this match and everything they were doing. Couldn't get enough of it. Jericho and Kingston absolutely lit it up. Kingston, that strong style, dropping people on their head. Man, good stuff. Then he gets the win, by the way, and Jericho refuses to shake his hand like he said he would. I'll see. Let's see. We got Jake St. John in the comments here. Eric Redbeard had a great debut on Dynamite. Made him look great. Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. I thought that was one of his better showings. I never was really like a huge fan of the guy in WWE, but I thought they really played to his strong suits in that match. And again, I thought Kingston and Jericho was like just a perfect opener last night. Super physical. Kingston selling. His offense was just tremendous. Jericho was right there with him. And the way it unfolded with Jericho refusing to shake his hand, I feel like we'll have more between these two. But I was surprised Kingston got the clean pin right out the gate. And we'll see where this goes from here. After that, we had Jurassic Express picking up the victory over Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. I thought this was an excellent three-way. I wasn't really surprised because of the story going into it. Jake, shake his hand, damn it, be a man, Chris. Yeah, seriously. Those guys, they sucked me in too, man. I was in it all the way. Like I said, this next match, though, wow. This is going to show you, too, like the tag team division is just so damn good in AEW. I thought Jungle Boy really looked great in this match, too. Great win for these guys. But because of the story, I kind of figured Red Dragon and Young Bucks would kind of go at it with each other. But they really didn't go at it too much. Like they did, but I just thought in the end they put over the Jurassic Express as the better team right now. That being said, I really hope Red Dragon kind of gets the titles at some point in this promotion. They've had it in NXT. They had it in Ring of Honor. They were the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions. Like, I'd be super excited to see O'Reilly and Fish get that goal at one point. After that, we had Wardlow getting the ladder match here. Let's see. Jake's in the comments again. I love this guy. Love these teams. Kyle and Bobby are such a great team. Real throwbacks. I agree. I want to say they remind me of Tully and Iron, but when you got FTR in the company, who could really remind me of Tully and Iron. Of course, they could also pass for the Midnight Express. Like, I just think FTR is the greatest tag team, period. But yeah, this goes this company. This company's got such great tag teams. After that, Warlord, he captured the Face of the Revolution ladder match, brass ring. Man, I don't like this big ring. This big ring is so awkward looking, but I was happy Warlord got the victory. I think they've been great with this story so far. Building up Wardlow and the dissension with him and MJF, which we'll talk about, plays out later. But this was a great ladder match. It was kind of interesting after that tag team match. It was a hard match to follow up, and I think some people didn't enjoy this ladder match as much. But I don't know. I was just really happy. I like when I see a young guy like Wardlow go over like this. So, and I thought he went over strong. Yeah, Jake, I agree. Wardlow did rule last night. Good booking. All right, after this, it's Jay Cargill versus Ty Conti. It is what it is. Cargill's got a look, but she's kind of green. And eventually, whoever beats her, it'll probably mean something. So that's good. I'll be positive. But she doesn't really do it for me. This match was kind of just there. And it was fine for what it was. CM Punk versus MJF Dog Collar Match. Man, wow. I love it because I love when you throw something back that I don't even know too much of. Like, I didn't see a lot of Punk's early Ring of Honor days, so I didn't know that was his ring music. And they played up to that, and he came out dressed like he used to back in the day. And I thought that was just super cool. Excalibur letting us know what was going on, too. Just a lot of fun. Randy letting us know Orange Cassidy got hurt last night. That's too bad if that happened. But Punk and MJF, man, great stuff. And again, the end of the match, Wardlow, like we were talking about, Jake, he went over, ends up playing a big part of this match too. He finally get what he wants. MJF's calling for help. Wardlow comes down. Oh, I don't know where the ring is. MJF's like, he wants that ring and he wants to punch Punk in the face, and Wardlow doesn't have it. And then next thing you know, he eats the GTS, and then Wardlow remembers he put it in his other pocket, leaves it there. Punk uses it. Great storytelling. They've been setting up this. I think I was listening to Observer Live today, and they were talking about, maybe it was them or someone else, but they were talking about this has been going on for like almost 2.5 years. This like little story between Wardlow and MJF. So great stuff. So after that, we got Brit Baker versus Rosa. Ton of interference in this match. It was okay. I just wasn't. It was kind of wasn't as good as their lights out matchup. It was kind of hard to top that. Plus, it was going right after this dog collar match, so it was fine. I think it's going to be a bigger story. I think Rosa is going to beat Leia Hirsch this week, and that'll lead to a match she's going to have with Britt Baker. I think I heard Observer Live speculating it might be a cage match. That makes a lot of sense. Keep the people out. And, I think Rosa will win the title in a couple weeks. And I think they were saying, too, ironically, it's going to be in her hometown, the show, and her birthday. So we'll see. Let's see. Let's go into the comments here. Jake was saying that MJF Punk was such a great storyteller. Excalibur was the MVP telling that story. He certainly was. Randy says AJ was right. Britt won that match. He was. Yeah. But like even AJ said too, like we think Rosa is going to win the belt down the road. It just wasn't her time. But I think her time's coming up very soon. Then we had the highlight of the night. As much as everything was so good on this, and I know Jake's in the comments here, so props to Jake. Let me give him some props here because he called this. So Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Moxley gets the win, and it's a great back and forth brawl wrestling match. They're doing everything, and then after all this going back and forth, Moxley gets the win. And do they shake hands? Nope. They keep beating each other up. They keep punching each other in the face. And wouldn't you know it, who comes down to break it up? Just like fan of the show, Jake St. John said, William Regal. Guys, I didn't get to finish watching this show last night. I had to go to bed early because I had to be up at like 3 a.m. because, you know, sometimes life requires us to work. And I had this going on my phone. And I popped so freaking hard. Like, I'm surprised I didn't run anybody off the road. Like, I've already just listened to it, like, you know, like it's the radio, and I'm not really like paying attention. But when I heard Regal, I was like, what? And Regal comes out there, and he gets in Moxley's face and Danielson's face. And then first he slaps Moxley, and he kind of headbutts him, and he's got his blood on his head. And then he slaps Danielson, too, and basically gets him to shake hands. And yeah, awesome. As Jake says, Mox Danielson, 15 stars. Regal was perfect. Randy, William Regal on AEW. That's right. So awesome stuff, guys. Yeah, I think this is the beginning of a stable, and I couldn't be excited. I'm going to comment on this too. Not just because I could criticize WWE, but I can criticize WCW this. It's just the way it was. Regal, because he was such a good comedic guy too. WWE and WCW both played that up, and obviously they played up to his heel, but I don't think enough was ever played into what a badass William Regal was. Like, with the exception of his feud in WCW with Fit Finlay, where they beat the shit out of each other. And I'm thinking, if anyone's ever seen it, that main event he did for the Brian Pillman Memorial Show with Chris Benoit. We just had Les Thatcher on the show. I got to interview him, and he talked about this too. That match Regal had with Benoit, where they beat the crap out of each other. And the following year, Les wanted to book him for a second one, but Benoit was injured. And Regal called Les, and he said, I'll be happy to do whatever you want to show, but I can't just have that match with anybody. And I think that's the thing. Like, Regal, he could be so physical in the ring, and he's so good. And I know he's the one I heard first say, like, he knows how to work. Like, he works snug. I hit people hard, but in safe places. And Regal is so great. And as Jake said, he's the original villain. As he said in a promo one time, sometimes I'm just born naughty. And what a great character. What a great mind. Very fortunate for AEW to have him, but I'm really excited that he's in this storyline. And maybe we're going to see a little bit of that physical, violent side of Regal. And maybe we'll even get to see a little bit of him in the ring still. I'd be excited for that. I mean, you don't need to use him all the time. I think he's going to be great in the role as like a manager and behind the scenes. But man, just maybe once in a while get Regal in that ring. Oh, sign me up. Then we had the trios match: Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting versus Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. My God. Freaking all I can say is Sammy Guevara doing a Spanish fly, like, I don't know, whatever they were on top of, through a table, and then 60-something-year-old Sting jumping off balconies, going through 2 tables on somebody. Just insane. I wasn't really that into this, like going in like a 6-man match, but they did such a good job. They damn near killed themselves. This was just awesome. Perfect. Baby faces go over. It was what it was. Let's get to the comments here. Jake saying earlier about Regal's just so great. The older I get, the more I appreciate workers like him and Iron. Damn, we were lucky to see him. Absolutely, Jake. Absolutely. Randy Osga, that crazy Sting. It was. I did not expect that from Sting. Unbelievable. And then we had the world title match, which honestly I enjoyed, but after everything else, it just kind of was what it was. Like, after that freaking Danielson Moxley match with Regal, and then we got that crazy 6-man match. It was okay. It was good, but those two had just stole the show. Those two other matches had stole the show for me. But Hangman goes over. Good win for Hangman Page. What I did like was after Hangman Page beat him and Cole was out conscious, Hangman actually shook his hand, and they brought up again Excalibur, kind of MVP, saying Hangman has his own code and talked about his Ring of Honor days. And they really put over Ring of Honor. And I'm really enjoying the fact that, now that Tony Khan purchased Ring of Honor, we're referencing Ring of Honor a little more already. And we're already seeing that kind of pay off, which I think is just great. And I know CM Punk talked in a media scrum afterwards how emotional he just was that his library, that his footage is in the hands of somebody that cares like Tony Khan. Let's see, Jake in the comments here. The Ring of Honor storyline could really be something. It really could. And I mean, are we going to get a team like the Briscoes come over too? Like, this tag team division's already insane as it is. But Briscoes versus FTR, Supercard of Honor. I think that's going to happen. So, yeah, so much good stuff. Great time to be a wrestling fan, folks. This was good. I don't really have anything else to say today. Not going to talk about any other company. Just want to come in and talk about last night's AEW Revolution because I thought they just did such a knockout job with this show. And, there are little things that you could criticize here and there, and not everything was the best. But I thought overall it was just a great, great show. So, Jake, thank you, brother. Nice show. Thank you. Appreciate it. But that's it for today, guys. Working Fans Podcast, daily content. Like, subscribe. Check out that Les Thatcher interview if you haven't, whether on audio or video. The guy is a brilliant, brilliant mind, and he talks about William Regal, his relationships with Pat Patterson, Harley Race, Ricky Steamboat. Can't put it over enough. All right, guys. Thank you, Randy. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.